Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with trumpeter Joel Nyman and bassist Gabriel Dahl of the Scandinavian jazz fusion band Paradise League. They reached out to the show about their new single called Acrobat, out on November 19th, 2021. After the final video is out in April of 2022, all the songs will be released as a live album. Their story is a great one. Enjoy.
I'm Joel. I'm the trumpet player, and hi. It would be nice to get Gabriel get the sound right so we can. We're in different places. I'm in Florence, and he's in Stockholm in Sweden.
I love Florence, man.
Yeah, it's an amazing place.
Beautiful country.
Gentlemen, thank you for taking a minute out.
Yeah.
We're very happy to be here. Very honored.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate you reaching out, and I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about the new single Acrobat. And I think anyone right now that's releasing material, it's on the backdrop of COVID and what we've been going through. And you're in two very distinct parts of the world. So tell me, how is everything going, and what does it mean to release material now that we're kind of, I guess, somewhat in the back end of this whole pandemic lockdown thing?
I think there's some. I mean, it's beneficial in the sense that, I mean, you can kind of release music almost per normal. I mean, since it's online, so it hasn't really affected. I don't think it has affected like the band in a bad way to have to release music like online in that sense. It's worked out fine. I think it worked out great actually to release the song. It hasn't really been an issue.
But I mean, recording it was kind of a weird experience because we were doing it as like as a live concert, but we didn't have any audience at all. So it was really, really weird, like playing a whole set of like 1 hour, just pushing through it, and we've been practicing like crazy for it, and then like playing it in front of an audience of like 2 people, and like having that kind of like performing, but in front of because we also released it as a video, like performing, but like not for anybody really, and it's not like miming as a music video. So that there was a fun experience. Kind of weird.
There was a live stream when for the concert, but that was it.
You are Scandanavian, correct?
Yeah.
So, talk to me a little bit about how you all came together and how jazz became your gig.
Well, we met at a school together 7 years ago, and it's a very Scandinavian thing. It's like a pre-college that you can study and before going to university or something, or you don't have to go to university, but like it's an environment where you can like play.
It's like a trade school.
Yeah, we actually started this band at that school, but like in a different format. I remember you and me when we were talking about like this kind of jazz music that we play, like how nice it is and how it's not really that appreciated. At the time when we were studying, it was like it wasn't that hip. Really.
Yeah, it was a lot of modern and free jazz maybe, and that kind of stuff, and those schools. So yeah. And then a few years later, we all came in, or we're at the school in Stockholm, the university in Stockholm, and it was just a perfect time to just like put it all together. I had some original material. Gabriel, you had some original tunes as well, and we just started. I started having it as my school project. Then we just continued on throughout the years there, and yeah.
So, what were some of your influences? Who were you really listening to that really kind of inspired the way that you approached not only your sound but jazz?
Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of a lot of American jazz trumpet players in general because it kind of goes without saying. Like you study the origins and you study the tradition, and then you get in touch with all these musicians. So for me, it was a lot of horn players, both trumpet and saxophone, that I've always been inspired by. But then later, like for this song Acrobat, there's a lot of Japanese jazz fusion influences, actually, like Masato Honda, saxophone player in a band called P Square, and also Cassiopeia, which is like almost has like a video game feel to it with the composition, which appeals to me.
And also kind of like I think that especially Cassiopeia has like a sound of like playing. It sounds almost kind of real booky. Like it's like it sounds like American Songbook, but like with a funky beat and with like electric instruments. I'm also very influenced by Cassiopeia, guitar player Issei Moro, and also, I mean, it's like Jacopo Pastorius was like my first like real bass hero. I think that's like always been like my biggest bass influence as a musician.
That's so interesting because the Japanese revere and love jazz so much. I don't ever really hear about people mentioning actual Japanese artists that influence them. You know what I'm saying? Because they have that reverence, especially for the American jazz side of things. What is it about you all as a band that works so well together? How do you all come together and create the music you do? I mean, you know, I think on the outside people think, oh yeah, people get together, they make bands, they make music, but it's not as easy as you would think. So how does it work for you all so well?
I think a really big part of it is like, you know, we're all really good friends and we've known each other for a very long time, and we have that kind of relationship where you can like get ahead of each other and you can discuss like really specific, very small parts in the music and be super passionate about it. And everybody's super passionate because it's like everybody loves to play together. I think that's really important. And also we love to practice together.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. It's a lot. It's a good. It's just a good. You know, like I guess just the right kind of people meet at the right time, and then it just works, and you just see that we have a lot of things in common, like everything from music to the ways we are, everything, you know, like as well as humor as well, maybe, and a lot of common interests. And we've lived together in different constellations throughout the years, like throughout the school years and stuff, and. I think it's also important. I think it's good to mention that the drummer who came in on the later side, because the first album has a different drummer, but the second drummer the current drummer is from Finland, and he was doing an exchange program in Stockholm a few years ago. He was just like the perfect. He had the perfect way of playing for the band of the music, and his playing.
He just came right in and made such an amazing job right away. We were like, man, this is what we've been waiting for in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it just worked perfectly. It was great. Yeah.
So, you know, obviously the elephant in the room around the world is COVID and getting over it and getting back to live shows. So talk to me a little bit about what your schedule looks like moving forward and what it's going to mean after this long time away to actually be able to perform your music live.
We aim for next summer, so we don't really have anything gig-wise coming up at the moment. But yeah, so summer maybe aim for some festivals, mainly in Sweden, I think, and then try to look forward into fall as well. Fall of 2022 to see if we can put together some sort of tour, maybe across Sweden, Finland, maybe the Baltic countries. We'll see how it kind of plays out. But as of right now, we just have our videos. We have this song Acrobat that also came with a YouTube video, and we have all the other songs from the concert of the session. Going to be released one every month up until April. So we're sort of putting our focus right now is on these live videos and to get them out and then release this as a live album on the streaming platforms in April, and sort of along the way use the material to try to get gigs for the summer and fall next year.
So let's say you come to Kansas City, Missouri to play a live show, and you have to kind of advertise and entice people to come to the show and explain what you do live. How would you do that?
I think that like a big part of the music that we make is people to like be able to dance to. We don't want it to be. We want it to be like really good music, and like each one of us is like the guys in the band are like the best performers I've ever met and played with. Like, we still want to play super good, but we also like we don't want to make it a stiff. Like, I mean, it's not a jazzy thing. Like, more than anything else, we want to make like people. We want people to dance and have fun and like move with the music.
Yeah, so a lot of energy, a lot of fun on stage, a lot of. I try to be very jump a little, and I use a lot of cowbell. We should tell everybody in Kansas City that we will have a lot of cowbell and jumping on stage.
Well, that'll go back to that Saturday Night Live skit with Will Ferrell. People will, yeah.
Exactly.
So, everyone has an idea of who they think you are as a band. All the people that have seen you live, that know you, the fan base, but you all have an idea of who you are as a band. Tell me who you are. Describe to me who you are as a band.
Jazz. We are a Scandinavian jazz fusion group that plays music on steroids.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Cool. So let me ask you this. If you guys could get into a time machine and go back in time and see any jazz performance live, where are you going to go? Who do you want to see?
I think I'd like to go to see like early Weather Report with Alfonso Johnson on bass, or maybe with like Omar Hakim on drums.
Yeah, I would definitely probably I would do maybe Cassiopeia in the 80s.
Cool.
Yeah. Second half of the 80s.
Very cool. Hey, gentlemen, thank you for reaching out to me with the music and taking some time out today. Good luck with everything as the world opens up.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It was super nice. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in Italy, Sweden, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. Thanks to both Joel and Gabriel on behalf of the band for their time and stories. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino in the iTunes Store. Visit Neon Jazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.